Ooh, all or nothing. It's a mentality that for years I had. It was tough. It was tough to get out of, overly restricting, yo-yo dieting, and putting myself in situations where I thought I couldn't just have one. Now, does the all or nothing mentality exist in physiology? No, it's not a real thing. But here, we believe it. If you're all or nothing, and you're anything like me, who was all or nothing, the way that you've got there is not because you're not a hard worker. It's not because you don't have enough effort levels or enough resilience or enough consistency. It's that you've put yourself in a box that's too rigid, that every time you take a step left, every time you take a step right, you create a fuck it button, a fuck it moment, because the boundaries that you've set yourself are so super tight that you can't fail. Now, trial and improvement is the key fundamental to being moved out of this all or nothing mentality. You can have an all or nothing mentality when it comes to work, with your career, because you can be super focused. But when it's your day-to-day food intake and the way the relationship that you have with yourself is all or nothing, it becomes fundamentally disruptive and negative towards yourself. We've got to have good relationships with ourselves. We've got to have, our bodies and our minds are for the rest of our lives. The way you move out of this all or nothing mentality is that you set your boundaries bigger. Sure, you should have boundaries. That's what keeps your structure. That's what keeps your system. That's what keeps your high priorities and high standards. But you need to know what's possible, real, and actually in a situation where is that right to think it's all? Is that right to think it's nothing? Is that right to think it's good? Or is that right to think it's bad? In the relationship to nutrition and food and training, I hope the rest of the videos have been enough of an insight to know that nothing is hard and fast. There's a few principles that we need to stick to, but the rest of it is self-exploration about what you like and what you want to do, and you trying something and then you seeing how it goes for you. If you want to lose fat, calorie deficit. Stick in a calorie deficit. If you want to build muscle, train progressively, get stronger, and do that for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. If you want to eat 3 meals, eat 3 meals. If you want to eat 5 meals, eat 5 meals. Try it and see. There's no hard and fast rules for anything. There's no good and there's no bad, especially when it comes to food. People will have that all or nothing mentality when it comes to eating off plan. Nothing is off plan when it's considered into your lifestyle. If you're doing a diet with a specific deadline, with only the thought process that you're doing this for a set period of time, you're gonna fall short. A diet is non-sustainable. It's just for a short period of time. That's absolutely fine. But when you're creating something for the long term and you're creating something for a lifestyle, the choices that you make within that diet are super, super important to how you finish it and you do afterwards. So there's no good or bad food. There's no all or nothing. There's no yes and there's no no. There's maybe, there's depends, there's trial and improvement. Once you move out of that, I fucked up and fuck it, the better it can be. Don't restrict after you've had more food than you should have. Just go back to the way that you were eating before, the day before. Don't make it worse. If you went £1 over drawn within your American Express, you wouldn't then go and spend another 10 grand on it. That's how we view our food. It's like, okay, I've ate one piece of chocolate over, fuck it. It's gone now, it's completely gone. I'll go and have a full box of Celebrations, or I'll go and have 4 more of that, or 5 more of this. If it was back to our finances, we wouldn't do that. You'd go £1 overdrawn, and then you'd work it back so that you didn't have that £1 overdrawn. You'd go into the positive when you get paid again. You just wait it out. You just go back to normal. So we need to have that same philosophy with all or nothing. It doesn't actually exist. It's something that we've created because of our restrictive boundaries that we've placed upon ourselves are way too restrictive, and our belief systems are that, carbs are bad, that a bite of chocolate is completely ruined our progress, which isn't the case. One chocolate, it's not going to do anything, and that's the reality. But if you keep it one chocolate, that's fine. If you go and eat a box of Celebrations, of course you're going to gain some weight. But that's all or nothing. Try your best to get out of it.